So you decided you need to hire a lawyer. Okay, in today's video, I'm going to provide you with simplified information on how to optimize your chances of finding the best lawyer for your case. My name is Mehdi Charkawi. I'm a civil litigation attorney in Houston, Texas. My channel provides general litigation information simplified so that everybody can understand. If you like this kind of content, I ask you to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and let's get to today's video. But before we get started, I am not your lawyer. This is not legal advice. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. If you have a situation that it requires legal advice, I suggest and recommend you seek an attorney in your local city or state. The first question you want to ask yourself before you hire a lawyer is, do I really need one? So litigation is defined as taking any kind of legal action which in simplified terms, either suing someone or defending a lawsuit in the event you get sued. Now, there are certain cases where, in my opinion, you don't need an attorney. You can do some research online. There are actually websites that can help you and guide you through the process as long as the legal process is fairly simple. For example, an agreed divorce, at least here in Texas, does not necessarily require an attorney. There are packets that are for sale online that can help you and guide you through the process of filing an uncontested agreed divorce. An example would be you and your wife decided that you need to file a divorce. Let's say there are no children, there's very little debt, no assets, if any. At that point, I would suggest you seek the help of websites that can sell you an uncontested divorce packet that is compliant with the laws of your particular state. An example of those websites could be LegalZoom, and other websites. All you have to do is Google them and you'll find certain providers online that can guide you through the process of a simple agreed divorce. Another way you can represent yourself, and I suggest you consider this option, is when your dispute has to do with damages, or you've incurred the damages that are $20,000 or less. In most states, certainly in the state of Texas, we have small claims courts. These courts are fairly informal. They don't require an attorney. You basically fill out some paperwork that the clerk will provide you, and you write down what occurred, whether this dispute is with your tenant or your landlord or a mechanic or anyone that you're looking to sue, and the amount of damages that you're suing for, at least here in the state of Texas, are $20,000 or less. The clerk should be able to guide you on how to fill out the paperwork, and once you serve this paperwork onto the defendant, and again, the clerk of the court should be able to help you and tell you how to serve these documents or the lawsuit on the defendant, you will get a day in court in front of a judge where you can explain to the judge what happened, and you should be able to, if you prevail, the judge will award you a judgment, again, as long as the damages are under $20,000. These are situations where an average individual can do some research, save a lot of money on attorney's fees, and undertake these legal matters on their own without the help of a lawyer. Second, you want to ask yourself, what type of lawyer do I need? This is very important. In my opinion, just like doctors, lawyers have certain specialties. Now, there are wide specialties, such as, let's say, civil litigation, which can encompass anything from business disputes to deceptive trade practices disputes. It can also encompass divorce, which is a civil litigation matter. And then there is the other umbrella, which is the criminal side, where obviously you would hire a criminal defense attorney to defend you in case you were charged with a crime. Now, under each of these umbrellas, there are certain specialties, if you will. Just like doctors have specialties, also attorneys will have specialties. There are attorneys that specialize in consumer disputes only. There are attorneys that specialize in divorce and family law. There are attorneys that specialize in patent law. Under the criminal umbrella, you also have attorneys that specialize in felonies, attorneys that specialize in white-collar crime, fraud, etc., etc. So you want to make sure that you get the right attorney for your cause of action. My advice to you is I would avoid an attorney that's the jack of all trades, an attorney that has a general litigation practice, does criminal, does civil litigation, does on the federal level, on the state level, appeals. If an attorney claims that they can do everything on the criminal side and the civil side, that's probably not going to be the best option for you. You want someone that has some type of specialty and has experience in the kind of case that you're looking to file. Third point, you want to do your homework. When you are let's say you searched for an attorney and you're looking to find one for your particular case, I would pick about, let's say, 2 or 3 attorneys in your area and compare them. First thing I would do, a very helpful resource for consumers to find the right attorney, is the website Avvo. That's spelled avvo.com. So avvo.com is a portal where consumers can browse a series of attorneys and find the right one based on experience, based on education, based on language, based on the price that they, the cost that they charge, etc., etc. Within avvo.com, you'll also find reviews. Reviews for Avvo are fairly genuine, authentic, and you'll find the reviews for this attorney good and bad. And I would spend some time to read these reviews and find out what occurred. Now, keep in mind, not every bad review is necessarily bad. There are certain clients you simply cannot please, and you certainly cannot please anyone. And when it comes to reviews, I would also be wary of reviews that are in the hundreds or thousands and they're all 5 stars, because everybody understands that you cannot please everybody, and everyone, every business, including attorneys, are bound to have some bad reviews. But I would focus on the most recent reviews and just see what other people are saying about this attorney. Does this attorney communicate? Is this attorney efficient? Does this attorney return phone calls in time? Does this attorney bill fairly and does not take advantage of individuals that come to them at their worst period of their lives, possibly? Another way to search an attorney is simply to Google this attorney. So you want to Google their name and look at their website, and also look at what other individuals have said about this attorney in the Google reviews. The last point, the last resource you want to check is the local state bar of that attorney. You look at their profile. Most state bars in most states, or if not all states, will have a profile for the attorney. It would also list the year they graduated, where they went to school, and most importantly, whether they've had any kind of successful grievances against them that led to some type of sanction. So any sanctions that this attorney may have had in the past, you'll see them listed under their state bar profile, and it will be up to you at that point to decide whether that's an attorney you want to trust them with their case or not. Fourth point is, how are you going to pay this lawyer? So there are 4 ways, technically. Well, there's 3 and one that's not very popular, but there's generally 4 ways that you can pay an attorney. Well, the first one and the most popular is an hourly rate. So an attorney is going to ask you for a retainer. They're going to charge X amount of dollars per hour, and this retainer will have to be paid up front. And every time the attorney works on your case, they're going to log in hours and log in the work that they are doing, and they're going to deduct all the work that's been done on your case from the initial retainer. Once this retainer is exhausted and your case has not been resolved yet, and the representation continues, then the attorney is likely to ask you to replenish the retainer until the case is resolved. That's obviously a very costly proposition. A lot of consumers may not be able to afford a retainer depending on the kind of case, but that is the most popular way, uncommon way to hire an attorney. The second way you can hire an attorney is, which is the second most popular way, is under contingency. Contingency basically means that the attorney will take a percentage of whatever recovery that you will get, whether at mediation or at trial or at informal negotiation and settlement. Whatever the attorney can get for you is going to be the basis for the percentage that the attorney will take. I will have another video to fully develop this concept of contingency fee at some time in the future, because it's a very interesting concept. I personally prefer it because it keeps the attorney engaged in your case, incentivizes the attorney to continue to work on it. It's almost like a business partnership that you create with this attorney. A lot of popular cases that attorneys take under contingency are personal injury cases, as long as the person that caused the injury either has assets or is insured. So you'll find that most attorneys will charge a third for whatever recovery you get as a result of the personal injury you have sustained, and potentially 40% if the case goes to trial. The third type of way you can pay an attorney is a flat fee. So based on the kind of case that you're gonna, based on your needs and based on the type of case that you have, the attorney can ask for a flat fee to be paid up front or in payments until your case is resolved. These type of flat fees are very popular when in divorce proceedings, immigration proceedings, things of that sort. So you may want to negotiate with the attorney and see and work out with them what kind of flat fee they're going to be asking for, and see if they can do a payment plan for you to pay this flat fee. I suggest for a consumer to always get into a payment plan with the attorney, because if you pay the attorney up front a fee, and this attorney is going to work on your case for a year and a half, perhaps even 2 years in certain immigration cases, you may find that some attorneys are going to lose motivation and incentive because they've already gotten paid a long time ago and they somehow keep working on your case, or your case is still pending and open. So I would suggest that you get into some type of payment arrangement so that you can continue to pay the attorney perhaps on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, to keep him or her incentivized to work on your case, and at the same time you don't have to pay a large flat fee all at once. The fourth way you can pay an attorney is what we call a hybrid fee, and that's technically a mix between a flat fee and a contingency. So for example, in case you have a personal injury case and your case is going to require a lot of fees up front, the attorney may ask you for $3,000 or $4,000 up front to cover certain expenses, and in return, the contingency fee, that's usually a third, can be reduced to 20%. So you have a maxed or capped attorney's fees in the beginning in exchange for a lowered contingency fee by the attorney. The fifth point you want to consider before you hire a lawyer is to meet up with this attorney, hopefully in person. I know a lot of meetings these days are happening through Zoom, but I would meet up with this attorney in their office and just see what kind of first impression you get. And this is very important. The attorney typically will have to be well-dressed, well-spoken, answers all the questions immediately. That's an indication that they have a lot of experience in the type of case that you have. It's not something that the attorney will have to go and research, and find out whether this is the kind of attorney that you want to represent you, because your attorney is your face, is your representation in court. This is what the defendant will see, this is what the judge will see, this is perhaps what the jury will see. So you want them to, or you want to be convinced that this is the kind of lawyer that you want representing you before a judge or a jury. As an example, if you're hiring a litigation lawyer, such as myself, you want someone that is aggressive. I mean, at the end of the day, litigation is not a nice process. It's not a process where it's rosy and full of niceties and where people make friends. You are looking to get some type of amount of money from someone or from a company. Obviously, nobody wants to pay money, so it's understandable that they're going to fight you tooth and nail before you can get any money out of them. So you want someone that's aggressive, that's assertive, not in a negative way. Now, you don't want someone rude. You just want someone that's assertive, someone that demands and commands respect because of their demeanor, their attitude, their knowledge, etc. Because again, litigation is a blood sport. So you want a bulldog to go out there and get you what you need. As far as I'm concerned, I've always taken my clients' cases as if they were my own. And this is a great trait that you want to find in an attorney. You want this attorney to fight for you as if they are fighting for themselves. This is when it comes to litigation. You want perhaps an attorney in a divorce matter. You want them to be compassionate. You want them to understand where you are, and you want them to understand perhaps the type of abuse that you've suffered on the hands of your spouse. So you want to make sure that you are well represented and you are convinced that this attorney is the right attorney for you. Number 6, now you've hired a lawyer. Now it's your time to see whether this attorney is executing on what they've promised you during that first impression. The biggest complaint that consumers or clients have against attorneys is that they simply don't return phone calls. You want to make sure that your attorney returns your phone call when you reach out to them. Now, obviously, you don't want to be that kind of client that's calling an attorney every hour on the hour, perhaps even every day, but you want to make sure that when you reach out to your attorney and you have a question that requires an answer, perhaps something that requires attention, you want them to be available. I prefer to communicate over the phone. I like to pick up the phone and call clients. I like clients to call me and talk to me on the phone, because on the phone I'm able to get more information from the client. I'm able to immediately react, and it's a really good interaction that can occur in a fairly short amount of time, as opposed to exchanging emails and waiting a whole day to get 1 or 2 questions answered. So make sure your attorney is the kind of attorney that picks up the phone. Also, make sure that there's progress in the file. You want to know that your attorney is actually doing some work and you're getting some return out of the money that you paid. I hope you benefited from today's video. I'll be posting more videos about general litigation information. Again, if you like my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.